It's solid.
Okay, everybody, this is What Does the Bible Say? This is a very, very different edition of What Does the Bible Say? We're live right now. I'm live in Virginia, and Johnny, my dad, is live in around Atlanta, Georgia, and he's with our brother Anthony Johnson. Just so you know, he actually is real deal in Atlanta. That's the Atlanta Journal. Anthony, what do you got? The Times, and bring it over a little bit. What are they dealing with in Georgia? Y'all down in Georgia are getting the same thing we are, gambling. So how are things going down there? Tell us a little bit about the setup.
It's going really good. We're just actually here meeting with a group of individuals that have decided to go out on their own like we did in 1999. And it's basically my job, Caleb, to come and encourage folk. And so we did a segment today on the buzz, and as people who are listening know, we proposed what we're doing right now. And we expect it to be, what are we not doing that we expect it to do? Anything?
No, this is about it, just a little bit of a variation of it. One thing we're going to, the station is going to be able to see it, but with, you said, and I'd say a lot of people don't know what that means, you said just like we did back in 1999. Give a little bit more, so because not everybody's going to know the ins and outs of that.
Good point. All right, in '99, we had to break away from a mainline Church of Christ because they wouldn't behave in the way that the Bible says. So how in the world are we going to tell the community that we're the Church of Christ? All we can say back in '99 is we have a sign out front that says we're the Church of Christ speaks. But they were allowing drinking, dancing, song leader to mess around with a woman, not his wife, and even bring her to church, people going to the beach, people wearing uptown at the Elks Lodge. Should I go on?
Well, and that's, some of those points I know I get to have a lot of conversation with Anthony. Anthony, that's a lot of the stuff exactly that you had to deal with. You're being evangelistic, and people are calling you out, and you're actually able to turn it back and say, hey, we've got some wayward members up in here. So the way that Dad mentioned it was, removed from the main line. How are you feeling about that?
Oh, most definitely. I've had so many issues with that very thing.
He said, how are you feeling about removing the main line?
From the main line. Oh, I'm feeling fine. Removed from the main line. I don't understand it, but I'm glad that, we're able to do what we're doing now.
Well, I would say that never goes away.
Do what?
That idea where you said, I don't understand it, I don't think that ever goes away. I can't understand why a lot of individuals are not, just super gung-ho to do what you guys are doing. Right now, y'all have access for people who are watching in the local area and watching on YouTube. Y'all are in an auditorium right now.
Yes.
So I'm seeing this Caleb for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the whole deal is to come down here and encourage them, check it out, and show it on YouTube, show it on Facebook eventually, and get brethren to realize you don't have to change through these groups that claim to be the Church of Christ and won't act right. God will bless you, and He is really blessing them. They have a fabulous setup here. They have a great office space. I wish, Caleb, that we could show some footage of the YouTube, the Facebook that we did earlier today. The camera, the footage was fabulous. I'm talking about, you would have thought we were at Charles's best camera. And, I'm saying, it's all happening. And our other brethren, like the folk at New Jersey, I hope y'all are seeing this. God bless y'all. People in Indiana that are trying to stand up for truth, appreciate y'all. God bless you. In there, and keeping their junior and over in Waldorf, Maryland, God bless y'all. And other individuals who are thinking about this. Can you just imagine yourself? We're going live from Atlanta, Georgia. We're going into a television station in Martinsville. I know this is unheard of because Charles basically was on the learning curve this afternoon.
Right.
Would you agree with that, Kevin?
Oh, yes. Big time. And a lot of people wouldn't recognize also that we're on our end. We're in the middle of, this is our first snow of the winter, so kind of everybody's like, it's not that bad, but we're in the South. Nobody knows how to act. It snows even a little bit. So right now, what they're getting to see, I'm actually going to flip over and let everybody, because we always say this, and everybody's going to get to see this, full image. We tell people to be encouraged. I say that regularly on the program, be encouraged, and we're looking at Acts 12, verse 23 and 24. Now, in Acts 23, it says, the angel of the Lord smote him, and it's talking about King Herod, because he gave not God the glory, and he was eating worms and gave up the ghost. And then it says in verse 4, but the word of God grew and multiplied. Now, I'm back to you guys, and if you think about Acts 12:24, the word of God multiplied. There are plenty of people that are wishing, and they're hating the Church of Christ, and they're wishing that we would somehow get smote down. I mean, Dad gets cancer, and how many people are saying, well, Malvester Muhammad flat out said that's what Johnny gets for talking about Elijah Muhammad. And, the guy calls in and says, when are you going to die, Johnny? But actually, here we are. Johnny is in Atlanta, Georgia, talking with Anthony Johnson. And, Anthony, I'd like to, what you were talking about, Dad, the setup and how we wish everybody could see it. Anthony, haven't people actually been contacting you because they're interested in actually finding the setup that you guys have?
Oh, quite a few. I just had a member of the church the other day contact me through Facebook, gave me his phone number, and he was actually asking me this very thing, that he is actually trying to do the same thing. He's trying to plant. He's surrounded by congregations that don't want to do anything, and he was trying to figure out how he can get to a setup like we have here. We have an office space that we're going to be using the studio.
Yeah.
And this company actually allowed us to be able to use. They got 2 event rooms and a conference room we're able to use for Bible study and worship at a very great price. So just have to look around. We're very blessed with being able to find this place, and it's literally like not even a minute down the street from my house.
Okay, so
let me talk locally from
okay.
To the people locally there, this is the difference between us and today or days ago. I sent a link to a website that told about a woman preacher in the Church of Christ, million views, like in 24 hours or whatever. And its article then talked about how the Church of Christ is the fastest declining church in America. All right, so what we're saying, what we're doing about it is we're actually seeing churches planted as a result of our YouTube, the encouragement we all get from each other. Now, locally, well, they're dealing with the same thing. I'm not talking about churches of Christ locally. I'm talking about denominational. They are dealing with this amazing problem of what to do. Brian Edwards and them turning into a secret church, their whole church. You got Jackie Poe's now the River. What is Mercy Crossing? It's just all this stuff. And what's the latest? The First Baptist in town, the biggest one, got a woman pastor try to say that's not working. So now they do a Catholic priest, renegade Catholic priest. Watch, that's their number.
And it's very, very recent, actually, locally, that one of the Episcopalian groups that's over on Fayette Street, it is absolutely about to be defunct. And, I mean, it's just, you keep looking at this information, and all of it, too, is surrounded by gimmicks. Like, one thing that people, and I would really like to comment on this and get Anthony's take on it. For people who don't know, it's Anthony, his family, and another family.
Ryan's with us tonight.
Yeah, Ryan is there tonight. He's on the scene with you all. I believe Ryan is very, very much involved in all the tech that they have going on. But I mean, talk to the people, Anthony, and tell them. I'm sure that you have felt like you guys go out and you're just like, oh man, it's just me and Ryan. But still, we could just say, well, I'm just going home, and it just be me. Because I think there's a lot of people, Anthony, who are exactly in your boat. They want to do evangelism, but they're saying, who's going to do it with me? And it's like, hey, man, you got to find your Ryan, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, I'm very grateful to have Ryan. I was thinking that I was going to have more brethren to be involved, just to even have Ryan alone. I needed that backbone. I mean, it was difficult to, you feel like as a Christian, and you're trying to do what the Bible says, and you're going to different congregations trying to get other brothers, actually brethren that come from you to do what the Bible says, with evangelism and everything. But you don't ever get any help. Well, then you start mind frame, I start thinking, man, is there something that I'm doing wrong? So then I'm looking at scripture and I'm like, there's no way that I'm doing something wrong. Of course, I came across Ryan, and Ryan came out. He's been a big help.
Well, one thing too that you go ahead.
Let me ask Anthony, would you encourage them to come to our tent so that they can actually be encouraged to see what it's like to pull out?
Oh yes, I went to the 2019 June 10th, and I went the second week, and I came back home and I told my wife.
Well,
one of the things that y'all were out there doing, the fellowship with y'all, it was something that people that are seeking for truth, they need to experience something like that.
How many people have told you they're coming?
Oh, let's try to think. One couple from north of us in a whole nother state, young guy, he's like 25, 26. He told me the other day, I've already bought my plane ticket. Man and his son from Texas. I can't even think now that you're putting on the spot.
Indiana.
Couple from Indiana. Guy from Kentucky, hopefully going to be coming. So, and then I know that Anthony has said before he's coming also. So you can include Anthony in the count. Oh yeah, Matt, and I believe Vince has talked about coming also. I mean, I'm not even counting, so I hope you are.
I got 7.
Okay, and
I didn't count individuals. I counted 7 different states.
Okay.
That you just said.
Well, and I know, and I mean, with what Anthony's doing, I wish that we had a way to actually, if we just were doing this, some way to pipe these guys in. So, Anthony, what you're talking about, what you guys are doing, you start doing evangelism on the street, person to person. You're going door knocking. You're going into denominations. I mean, some of these places you're getting invited. Some of them, they're just going to be like open invitation to the public because it's their revival and what have you. And like right out the gate, you guys actually baptize somebody. Before you even had to leave this other congregation, y'all baptized somebody. And we're actually getting a phone call right now on line 3. You guys want to try to take it? Okay. You're on What Does the Bible Say?
Yes, thank you for taking my call, Johnny. I hope you're doing well, and I'm following you on YouTube.
Okay.
I was just wondering, I'm a Baptist. I'm in Alabama getting you over YouTube, and I have medical conditions where I'm on dialysis and I can't get wet. I was previously baptized in the Baptist church, and we were, I like working with older people, and I was just wondering, I'm not here to stump you or be, anything opposite. What do you do with folks that cannot get in the water? Has that ever arisen in your ministry?
Can I answer that, Caleb?
Yeah, he asked you.
There's no such thing. A woman who's in an iron lung, if she can get out of an iron lung, spend her entire life in an iron lung, she's on the internet with Al Gore, she's as famous as she used to be, she got out of an iron lung long enough to be baptized. There's not such a person that has a medical condition that can't get wet.
Okay, sir, did you hear that?
Yeah, I can barely hear Johnny.
Okay, well, his response is, there's a real-life story of a woman who was in an iron lung. She can be found on the internet. She's got pictures with Al Gore. And she was baptized, full immersion, New Testament baptism. And Johnny's response was, there's not going to be an instance in real life where a person says, I just can't be baptized. If that lady can come out of an iron lung, be baptized, and then go back in her iron lung, I mean, who would be able to say, I can't do it?
Okay. Yeah, well, I've got a port in my neck, and I'm not allowed to take showers or fresh water or anything. The doctor said I may eventually be able to go in salt water, but they don't want me in any fresh water, swimming pools, anything like that because of infection. And I was just wondering about that.
Okay, so Dad said you could find a saltwater swimming pool. I don't know if you guys heard, he said he had a port in his neck.
I don't believe I'm saying. I have had multiple associations of people with ports.
Yeah.
And if you're saying I'm going to hell if I don't get in the water, they will make sure that port doesn't get wet for you.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
I appreciate your honesty. Love your show. Bless you boys, and I appreciate. I'm learning from you. Keep going.
Hey, now, if you're watching the show regularly, I hope that you would have our email address. Do you?
I've probably gotten it. I don't do much emailing because my hands don't work anymore. My wife does, though.
Don't mind. Really, I would really like for your wife to, get y'all in contact with us through email.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to put it. What? Okay. So how about this? Can I put you on hold and my producer get your phone number and your email address?
Sure.
Okay, because we'd love to talk with you. I mean, like you said, this said honest call. I'm not trying to stump you guys. We're very glad to hear from you.
Yeah, well, we've got several churches of Christ here locally, but you guys are the only one popping the whip. So, I think this varies from congregation to congregation. And where we're at in Alabama, most of the folks that go to any denominational church or any Church of Christ are an older crowd that thinks going to church is the entire ministry.
And how old?
57.
All right. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you on hold, and my producer's going to get you, and we'd like to get some contact information from you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Put you on hold. You have a good call.
You too. Be blessed.
Mr. Producer, got that man said he was watching Alabama, and his statement was a lot of old people who just think the entire ministry is just going to the building. Anthony, how old are you?
34.
34. I'm 26. Mike is 31. How old's Ryan?
34.
Okay. Now you guys are just, now what we were saying before the phone call, y'all had actually baptized somebody.
Yes.
And then the congregation where you were was still so uncomfortable with New Testament evangelism, and it didn't even matter that you guys had just taught. That was a married couple, wasn't it?
Well, it was actually, we baptized 3 individuals. It was a married couple and another young lady. She's been watching, this young lady has been visiting, but she's been watching the discussions that me in particular were having online, and she said, man, I want to have a study with you. She's been looking at videos and all that, and we sat down and had maybe 2 or 3 Bible studies, and then ended up obeying the God.
So, and guys, right now I'm actually getting a text from one of our sisters, and for years she worked in receiving people into the emergency room, and you know what she's saying? She is saying there is all kinds of dressings that the nurses and the doctors can put over any type of port, and they will get you in the water.
Absolutely.
So now, and it's just like, and we're not, I think that caller knows we're not saying anything like not trying to knock him. We're concerned about him. We want to get the port fixed. We want to be able to have that person be able to obey the gospel. Producer just handed us the contact information. Great. Really thankful for the call. And then we want to get back now with Anthony. Anthony, 34, you and Ryan hitting the streets. Now, here's the thing. You guys rented an office space. It just so happens that it comes with an auditorium. So you're set for your Bible class. Tell the people when you meet on Sundays.
We meet at 5 p.m. on Sundays.
Okay.
5 p.m.
Now, that's not traditional, is it?
No, not at all.
What do people, we all have in our mind, it's the sacred hour. When is it?
Right. And they find it odd that we meet in the evening to worship and we don't meet in the morning. But prior to worship, we have set up to where every Sunday at 1:30 we come together and we go out in the community and we door knock before we come to worship.
Okay, now let's take it. Let me have a second here to talk with everybody. I'm saying our brethren who are watching on YouTube. Why, y'all, do we just keep doing the same old thing that just doesn't work? Here's Anthony and another young brother. They're worshiping on Sunday. Nowhere in the New Testament does it say you have to come together at 10 and 11 a.m. You worship on the first day of the week. You're being scriptural. Now, y'all are getting to go. You would have the option to actually attend people's denominational Bible studies and ask questions, right?
Right. We actually, So we were discussing just the other night why we decided to do our Bible studies on Thursday nights, so we can go to Bible studies of denominations on Wednesday. Because usually that's what's going on. Traditionally, they have a Sunday morning and a Wednesday night. Okay. So we made it to where, yes, we can go on a Sunday morning and we can go on a Wednesday.
So what our brethren ought to be hearing is, I mean, you guys are, someone might not like the way that I'm saying it, but you're kicking tradition. You're not breaking any scripture, but you're certainly not keeping tradition. And you guys are making headway. And one of the things that Dad said a moment ago about that article for the woman preacher, and they actually noted that the Church of Christ is on the decline in certain parts of America. The people who say that, who actually are giving these statistics, I'm going to go over to that actual website real quick and let everybody see this. So everybody who's seeing it online or watching us locally, they're watching online. Look at this. Go up to where it actually gives the note about being on the decline. It is also known it's known as one of the fastest shrinking evangelical groups in the U.S. with about 1 in 8 members departing since 1990. The decline is accelerating. But look at where these facts are coming, or these, if I can even call them facts. Look at where these quotations are coming from. They are coming from right here. Right there it is. Now, the people who are watching online, wineskins. Now, for members of the church who would know what that is, that's Rubel Shelley's paper from the 1980s. Now, how is it the case, and Dad, you can start commenting on this because, this is, you know all about that. You were living through it. 1992, that time frame, wineskins is coming out. They were just set on, we have to mold ourselves to the culture or we're going to perish. And now where are they?
I don't even know where wineskins is anymore. I know that Rubel Shelley is basically a has-been. They've tried everything under the sun. They tried to move in with the Christian church, and that was 2 million people. That didn't work. Now, the last I heard was they were trying to get the International Church of Christ to come together, which that's known to some brethren as Crossroads. Others, like Che, Marshall Islands, she watched a 48-hour special on them, and it's like the worst cult that you can imagine, where you had one guy at the top, almost a pope named Caleb King. I don't know why anybody would listen to wineskins, but we're certainly needing to go back and try what people like J.D. Tant did, and Boy Wallace, and other older individuals. That's one of the reasons Caleb giving away the book called Arkansas Angels, is because it shows how the churches of Christ to be the largest religious body in the United States, fastest growing religious body in the United States for 19. So I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but that's what comes to my mind.
Well, I don't know if anybody said that to you, Anthony, like the way that you're going about things. Has anybody said to you, well, if you had tried this, maybe 30 years ago, it would have worked?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've had I think he was 66 years old. He was talking to me about the same thing.
Well, Ryan's grandmother said this is what was being done in her memory back, 30 years ago? One of the elders at the Plain Church of Christ actually said that to me, that 40 years ago I would be asked to argument lectures, and now I'm anathema to them.
Well, and this is another point that I want to make too with Anthony. Now, Anthony, I'm saying you guys already did the buzz earlier. Like, people may not know Anthony, and they probably can't see it through this broadcast right now. The one way, Anthony, one of these denominational preachers said, "I don't know who you are," and your response was, "I'm the only guy with a neck tattoo in this area." Now, the people don't know that you used to be like in a. What would you categorize that music as?
Well, it was a death metal band.
Okay, Anthony was in death metal. Now, in conversation I've had with Anthony also, You got the tattoos, all these different tattoos, because you said it was going to make you like other famous death metal people, and you thought that was going to propel you forward.
Right. There was certain, I guess it would be idols that I looked at in these bands music that I was into. And to be honest with you, with the neck tattoo, one of my favorite singers in that music had a neck tattoo, and that's why I got it. So I was like, man, I want to be able to be in that position.
And this is like, I mean, you're making, you left all that behind you, but here's the point I really wanted to make. You had obeyed the gospel, but you yourself had already fallen away to discouragement. And was it not this type of information that actually brought you back to say, hey, I need to repent, and I need to get focused?
Yes. I was at a congregation that was actually full of leaven. They weren't practicing any church discipline. And I actually, I was seeking for something. And I ended up finding myself just as lazy as the brethren that were there. And I ended up falling back and doing things that they were doing and living some things that were worldly. And I wanted something else. I wanted to learn something. And I was looking online, and I came across what the Bible said. I seen you, and I seen Micah, two young guys, and then I seen Johnny. And ever since then, I was like, man, I need to get myself back on track. Back when I first obeyed, I really wanted to get the word out, and things just started creeping in, and I went back another way.
So, Caleb.
Yeah.
So, am I interrupting your
thought? No, go ahead.
So, a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I was in Alabama, and a guy calls me up. He's a local preacher in Alabama, and starts telling me about this guy that is telling me about what does the Bible say. He said the guy's got a lot of tats, and he's telling me about him. So, where is that preacher? His name's Clark.
Oh, Jeff Clark? Yeah. Not at all. So he's actually baptized.
That's B.J. Clark's cousin. So, okay, I'm saying to members of the church that are watching the broadcast, today, earlier, they would have been, they had seen Buzz. Charles was trying to ask me, well, are y'all going to have that kind of music in the church now? And it's like, no, Charles. The kind of truth that we're teaching is what brought him out of that kind of music. If you're listening tonight and you have a son or a daughter and you're wondering what will bring them to the truth, and maybe you've tried everything, why not tell them about what does the Bible say? Real Christianity that pierces you to your core, gets you out on the street, makes you want to tell somebody else about this, gives individuals like Anthony and Ryan, who they have had a huge problem for themselves, oftentimes their peers, their family, people that are in the town with them, and other individuals just like them. The gospel that we're preaching and the way we're acting bring somebody out of you have this picture I sent you of him in the band? There certainly is for anybody else's children as well. You have a picture?
Well, I'll have to wait on that.
Okay.
So, hey man, what can I say? We're just going to have to say, like, I'm sorry, just said anybody who has a son, and I've had people call me and say, and I have no problem with this. I mean, I would love to do it. I wish more people did. They just basically call me and they say, will you talk hot potato, or if the son is ready for it, waiting on it. But, like, with where you are, Anthony, and what you're doing, I would say that you're encouraging just the people that we listed who are coming to the tent, they're already living in this atmosphere. They're feeling it just like, I mean, the way you actually categorized or described it, you said we were in a congregation with a lot of leaven. That's the Bible way to describe it. And it's like, someone called Dad the other day, and they were talking about the congregation where they were, and he said, I can't remember what he said, they are real relaxed here. They ain't relaxed. They're lukewarm. That's all that is. And so when you say there's a whole lot of leaven, okay, one thing that gets put on us. Now, the congregation in Martinsville started the congregation that's in Danville. I mean, that's a plan. You've been there for a little over 10 years. We don't have any elders. And I've gotten several people who email me and they call me and they're like, hey, the congregation needs to have elders. What's up with y'all? Now you tell the audience, you tell our brethren, how was working with the different elderships where you were? Were they helpful?
Not at all. A lot of them, we've discussed it before on the phone, but 1 Peter 5:3, they just wanted to take control and they want you to do what they want to do, but not in a biblical way. They just want to throw their opinions away. And they're not actually practicing what they're supposed to do when it comes to error coming into church, to sin coming into church. And they're not stopping, like you were talking about earlier when we were talking about 11. They're not stopping that. They're letting it go by, and then it just gets so far out there that the whole congregation ends up being that. I don't think anything.
Like having it, obviously, it's scriptural to have eldership. We would love to have the eldership, but a lot of times what you were running into were they were just in their mind, we're going to keep status quo. I mean, were you like a pest and a bother to them anytime you bring it up?
Oh yeah, most definitely. There's one elder that he actually is big in the city where they're located. Him and his wife, really big in the city. I mean, they're all over the newspapers. They're the city council all the time. So I'm doing this work, this evangelism work, and going into denominations in this area. But when I brought it to that area, it was like, hey, we're gonna have to stop it. The way I look at it is, he was more concerned about his reputation than anything. But in my mind, my mind frame, he has a platform that he could really get the word out. I mean, all papers and throughout media with the city, and he just wanted it to stop.
Yeah.
And there was no support for anything.
So, I mean, even if you're saying that, he had a reputation, he had a platform. A lot of times, members of the church, when we're doing evangelism, we see somebody and say, oh boy, considering where they are, they could really help us. That's not, I mean, if they're not just going to be vocal, it doesn't matter who they are, what their job is. And now, here's another thing, now that we're talking about that. Anthony, you're like, Dad being there with you, you guys getting this up, and people, you all know, nobody's ever going to, know this was pulling teeth. So, to get this going, Anthony, you're working a full-time job. You're being evangelist. I cannot tell you, Anthony, how many times. Tell the community, when's your startup date for y'all's live broadcast?
March 2nd.
Okay, March 2nd.
It's a Monday, and it's going to start.
I can't tell you how many times I have heard, growing up, preachers tell my dad, Johnny, we would like to do what you do, but we don't have the time because we have a family. Now you're working full shift doing evangelism. How do you fit the full-time shift, the evangelism, and your kids? Give some encouragement to people on that.
You just got to set your priorities right. I mean, my children know what I'm doing. My 7-year-old boy, he loves to go door knocking every day. So with the schedule, the way it fits now, my wife, she's a big supporter with what we're doing. And she knows that my priority is set on God. And she knows that I focus on my family. I take care of my family. But she knows my main focus. And for instance, today, I worked. As soon as I got off work, I went home, ate a bite really fast, took a shower, and headed straight to the office to do an interview at 3:30. She knew my focus, so she ended up all my stuff together while I was headed home from work for me. So when I got took it. But as far as the kids, they see the kind of stuff going on. When I get off work, I do go home and I'll spend time with my family. When the kids go to bed, I get right on Bible stuff. Study, I read, I get lessons together, I get whatever we have that's going to be coming up with Bible classes, or even if I have a sermon that I've got to preach, that's what I'm focused on.
Let me say this, Caleb. I encouraged Anthony sometime that your kids don't know if it is quantity time or not. They actually deal with quantity. And if they're outdoor knocking, spiritual work and they're with it's quality time. It's still the same as being daddy, no matter what, because he's paying attention to them. And you know yourself, I took you all over the place. Mike has well. Mike has got memories of going into foreign countries and actually having his own hut, you know, stay in, or for us to stay in, and just doing all kinds of stuff for him. These excuses that people make about their kids is really excuses. They're just simply making not to do what they need to do. Y'all two are definitely proof that you're not being neglected. Keelan came in a while ago and they were talking about watching. What does the Bible say? Watching. What does the Bible say? Mike, what does the Bible say? We have other friends that have come to tents and their kids knew us already. Wow. Kids crawl up into bed with their parents and they watch what does the Bible say. Why did they do it? It's just, they're seeing something real. And so we really are being encouraged by seeing growth, encouragement here.
Well, I think that what he just...
Why am I here?
Do what?
Go ahead.
Well, I was saying about what he said about his, I think he said 7-year-old being 7, loves going door knocking. Here's the thing. People love seeing you and your little boy. And a big response that we get door knocking, even for people who don't agree with the doctrine that we're teaching out of the New Testament, they will probably at least say, hey, appreciate the gift. Appreciate what you guys are trying to do. You're bringing your kids up doing that. And really, we do have to we really need to give a plug to your wife, Ryan's wife, what you just said. I came home from work. She knew what I was headed to. She got all my stuff ready to go. Listen, not knocking anybody, but we know that there are plenty of ladies out there would not agree with what their husband is doing, and what do? Make it hard on them. So when we're looking at this, we're presenting, hey, it is a full-fledged family effort. Everybody's got to be on board, ready to do this. And I would say a lot of people might just be looking at circumstances and say, I just don't know if my family would even do that. We got to make some headway. Even that is an excuse. Someone says, I don't know. You can't tell the future. Your wife may just be sitting back, waiting on you to say, hey, let's dive in head first, So some more things we want to get. We're running out of time, and we've still got a few more minutes, but just all these different things that you would be able to help dispel in people's minds. A lot of people have told Dad over the years, Johnny, it's nice what you do in Virginia, but it would never work here. What do you think about it?
Me?
Yeah.
He's saying to you, it's nice what y'all do in Virginia, never work here.
Oh, yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
I'm talking, you're talking about Matthew 5, let your light shine. People in this community know us.
Yeah.
There's individuals calling every church, hey, this guy, and I'm getting loads of messages online. And it's the controversy that's going on. It works. This method works.
Yeah.
You've got to expose these teachers that are just like Johnny and I were talking earlier. Me, Johnny, and Ryan. He was talking about these guys are frauds. And it's beyond us why people get so defensive and mad when you're exposing a fraud.
It's hard.
Go ahead.
It's very hard for individuals to recognize, like even myself, I tend to be naive as to the hold these guys have on these congregations. But I know it's hard for them to recognize that their pastors don't know anything. And we're not asking hard questions. Literally, I've watched their videos. They're going in and they're very nice and kind and saying, what do you have to do to be saved? The person says, well, pray the sinner's prayer. And you say, well, can you show that to me in the Bible? Man, it's on. No, instead of looking up, let's say Matthew 9:11, they bring up 9.
Yeah.
It's like you know how to get rid of them on the phone, but you don't know how to find your salvation account in the Bible. That is awful from the membership. So that's literally what it is. And I wish our brethren would hurry up and get that. If we're not causing trouble, we're actually exposing the simplest questions cannot be answered by denominational preachers.
Yeah, and a lot of these denominational preachers that you've been talking to, Anthony, you would know like their background. They've been doing it for years, right?
Yes.
And I mean, you're able to come in and like we said, it's the basic, it's the important questions. How do I be saved? Which church is correct? And these preachers and denominations who've been doing, what would we say, just fleecing the people for decades, they can't answer you. And it's not that they can't answer you; they don't know the book.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've never been to preaching school. I mean, I just do my own studies, and you're right. I mean, that is simple stuff. We had a young Baptist lady come into our Bible study, and she never seen Mark 16:16 before. And we went through, I just quickly went through about, what we need to do in order to have that fellowship with Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And how we're able to, have the blood of Christ in life with us. And she said, this lady was in tears. And she said, I have never been shown. She said that she grew up in the Baptist. So, with as simple as this subject is, and just the elementary part of it, what are these Baptist preachers teaching? I have absolutely no idea.
I would say almost nothing. It's a lot of story time. And at this point, Wednesday nights ago, and, she gave a really good plug to the show. She said she enjoyed what we were doing. She appreciated it. And I talked to her the next day. And she said, I grew up Baptist. She said, I went to one of the larger Baptist churches in Virginia. And she said, it's basically a nightclub. And she said, I'm sick of it. I don't go anywhere, anytime. So when you're saying what are they being taught in denominations, almost nothing.
Okay, let me interject this as far as some of our brethren, what they might be thinking now. They're seeing me all the way in Atlanta. They proof at least from TV. See, when people get they are kidnapped. Proof of Life is a newspaper being held right then. So, one of the reasons I'm here as well is because of some people that called me after one of the shows. They called me from South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, Anderson, South Carolina. But I finally made up my mind, Caleb, to make this trip. I had another trip that fell. I said, well, I'm already agendaed, ready to go. Be something, so I need to encourage these brethren. So I basically ready to go to bed, and my phone rings, and I couldn't grab it fast enough. So I texted my quick, can I call you back? And the guy says, I am so sorry. He said, I am in Anderson, South Carolina. I'm at Skate Land with my son, and I pocket dialed you on just by mistake. And I'm like, when I was coming out of Texas earlier, I was going to come to see Anthony and Ryan and Brett, and I was going to go up to South Carolina and Anderson and talk to these two guys. Here I am. I came to Anderson last night. I'm leaving Atlanta tonight, and I'll be able to meet two men that are in Anderson, South Carolina on my way home. My point about that is be encouraged. Somebody pocket dials me when I had no intentions of seeing them, at least at this point, but I went right through their town last night and talked to them last night. So all of the brethren, people where y'all be praying about whether I get to meet with these guys in the morning or tomorrow after.
Well, there's so much going right now, so much that I think that plenty of people, honestly, this show almost didn't happen, right? And we almost didn't get it going, but now that we already had a viewer from Alabama call in, and he admitted, he said, there are congregations of the Church of Christ in this area, and the way he said it is they don't crack the whip. Your experience, Anthony, is you can't find individuals who actually say, hey, we would like to try to at least be righteous. We're not going to be perfect, but we can at least try to follow the Bible. I think that we, in this broadcast tonight, we're answering a lot of the worries and the doubts that people have. People used to do this all the time, and that's another thing that Dad can attest to. People used to, let's say a congregation would take about 3, 4, 5 families, send them somewhere, and just go plant. Why can't we do that anymore? Really, what is the holdup? You guys are seeing there is no holdup. It's just a matter of...
Well, there is no holdup. It is simply not see what can be done, and that's why we're going to this effort. I hate to be this way, Caleb, but one of the reasons that sin is multiplying, particularly homosexuality, the reason it's multiplying is because people can see themselves on the internet. used to, that were homosexuals, they didn't know how to act. They didn't know how to be comfortable. Now they can get online and see other people behaving like that and multiply whatever we're talking about. Why can't we use the same? Let individuals who are dreaming about this identify with Ryan and Anthony, and you can see Anthony's neck tattoo.
Okay, got it.
Tell that this is a guy who has had a past, and yet they're front line. I asked Ryan earlier, are you the person that people would have picked to be on the front line? No, neither am I. I mean, I look at myself, I watch myself on the show. Charles said, are y'all trying to do a fashion statement? I don't know if it's the purple shirt. I have no idea what he's talking about, but I'm just saying. Identify regular people. That's us. Normal, common people. Mark 12:37. It says that Jesus, they heard, common people heard Jesus gladly. Heard the common. This can be done. We appreciate you, Caleb Robertson, putting the effort out to make sure this happened tonight. This isn't at all what we planned, but I'm surely, I'm pumped because it did happen and it happened this way.
Well, all this too, one more thing, if we can say this for the people who are getting to see it. Now, Anthony, you're in Atlanta, and we said this a couple times. It's you and Ryan. That's not a bad thing. You know, Acts 16 is Paul and Silas. You know, who's looking at Acts 16 and saying, you know, they weren't making headway? But you actually have come in contact with quite a support group, have you not?
Quite a support group. You've come in contact with quite a support group.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, at the same time that you came to the tent, we had Terrell, came from California. He's in he was asked to leave flat out. The congregation said, we want you to leave and don't come back. Joshua, down in Florida, and I was talking to a guy earlier who had been invited to be at a speaking engagement, and he's talking to me, and he says, I don't think I can in good conscience go speak with those brethren. He said, they're not holding the truth like they need to. We are forming a support group. Somebody told Dad, and I think it was Dan Winkler told Dad years ago, Johnny, you're going to tighten your fellowship circle so tight that it's just going to be you. That's not true. We are actually coming in contact with people just like Anthony, young guys all over the place. Mark, Indiana, Matt in Massachusetts, Joshua in Florida, Terrell in California, Christian and Mitchell, they're down in Oklahoma. Jordan is in Montana. It's ridiculous for these individuals in the church to say, well, you're going to tighten up so tight, it's just you. Well, what's the alternative? We loosen up so much that everybody and everything gets to get in? That's exactly what you experienced, and it was awful, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, you said 11. That's how it was. So, you know, this has been great, y'all. We're running out of time. We just got a little bit left to, give out everybody our contact information. This hopefully will become a regular thing. We got brethren over on different places we want to try to encourage all of them. And really appreciate you guys. You, Ryan, and again, your family, your kids, wives, what y'all are doing. Hope you got, and I want to say this too. You all have had to leave congregations. Got any animosity or ill will towards those brethren? Nobody. I know Anthony has told me before, y'all. Anthony says we're about to go get busy and we're not looking back. We don't think bad about these brethren. We wish they would repent. We wish they would straighten. So tonight, guys, we're going to sign y'all off. We appreciate y'all spending so much time with us and the community out here. You got something else?
Yes, if you haven't seen FHUnudeart.com, FHUnudeart.com, 3,000 people that possibly are your friends have already checked that out and are in droves writing to Creed Hardeman about the nude art program. Don't forget about that.
All the way over in like Singapore, Malaysia, and everywhere else, just like that. They're seeing the website and they're contacting Creed Hardeman. Okay. We appreciate y'all, and y'all be safe. Okay.
Good night.
All right, good night. Y'all have a good night. We're going to switch over to our PowerPoint now. We've got just this minute left, and the only thing we're doing, y'all see Mark White all over the place. Y'all be watching Mark White. He's got a show coming up. We just want to give you our contact information as we go out. My phone number is 276-806-36. Mike Robertson is 444-521. My email address is calebgrobertson@gmail.com. We appreciate the caller from Alabama. We appreciate everybody else tuning in locally, those who are contacting us during the show locally. We appreciate y'all and all your encouragement and support. Y'all have a good night. You keep asking, what does the Bible say?